Hey guys, what is up? My name is Megan. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, and welcome to today's segment of my video series of book reviews where I talk about books that I think are either underhyped or are really worth the read. Today we are going to be talking about Fireborn 12 and the Frozen Forest by Aisling Fowler. This is the first book in a middle grade series. The first installment is just over 400 pages, and I gave this book, I believe, a 4.25 out of 5 stars. This is a middle grade series that I have not seen a lot of hype for. Neither was it talked about on Bookstagram or on BookTube, and I thought, you know what? This is really worth the read for you guys out there who love middle grade or are looking to get into middle grade, and here is why. First of all, I feel like the premise is different than a lot of other middle grade books. This essentially follows a main character named 12, and essentially at the beginning of this book we embark on this journey with 12 when she is essentially a huntling in a hunting lodge. What that means is that because of 12's backstory and her life, which we don't know much about when we get into this book, she has given up her identity and taken up the name 12 and is now part of this hunting lodge community where she is growing up to learn how to be a hunter. In this world there are several different kind of creatures. There are goblins and spiders and just a whole bunch of different creatures that are very dangerous and that are obviously going to impact the chance of survival for our main characters. Now, in this training camp, she's learning how to be a hunter and how to prepare to go on quest. The real takeoff of this book is when another of the huntling 7 goes missing, and 12 takes it upon herself to go and search for 7 within this frozen forest where Frozen has been taken by some goblins. Now, along this journey, 12 is accompanied by this giant dog as well as 5 and 6 who are other huntlings at the lodge. Within this book you get to see this quest. It feels very like medieval Frozen vibes. It's kind of like in a world where they use axes and those kinds of like bow and arrows to fend for themselves and defend themselves. It is a world where it is very cold and the atmosphere feels very medieval. Our main character has a pet squirrel and like they're always like wrapped up in furs, and it's very atmospheric, and I feel like you can really sense the danger that our main character is on this quest. This is about friendship, it is about finding yourself, it is about coping with your past and making changes to your present to be the person who you want to be. Obviously 12 is not with her parents anymore, and you kind of learn her backstory and her history as well as the history of 5, 6, and 7, and just the banter and the friendships that grow between the main characters is a beautiful thing to see. I think that the pacing of this book is excellent. I will admit that the first few pages, like the first maybe 50 pages of this book, are a little bit slow, but I do encourage you to push on and read through, because once you get into the vibes and you know the characters and like the plot, like what we're doing within this story, you really get to root for them and see them grow. And I think the character development in here is absolutely fantastic, as is the writing style, and I just think that it really takes the chosen one trope and kind of flips it on his head, because unlike a lot of the other like chosen children in middle grade book, I feel like 12 is a lot more flawed and she has a lot more character development to go through, and you can really see her working through it, and it feels very realistic for the middle grade age range that it is. I myself am not of middle grade age, but I still could see myself in the main character, and I am still growing as a person, and I think that this growth was very well reflected in this book, and it is very realistic even though we are in a fantasy setting. I do think the setting was one of my favorite parts, because I haven't read a lot of like polar fantasies, I guess you could call this book, in middle grade, nor do I read it in like YA or adult, and that was very refreshing. And I think that the setting itself was very different because there's no necessarily technology. Like, we don't talk about phones, we don't talk about anything that is like of newer age, and that's why I feel like the vibes of this book are very interesting. And I feel like this book really needs more hype and more love because it is very deserving of it. I feel like it's very well crafted, and the end of this book is absolutely amazing, and it definitely makes you want to go into its sequel right away. The sequel has released. I don't honestly know how many books there are going to be in the series. I'm assuming it's a trilogy, but I might be wrong because sometimes middle grade series go on for a while. But yes, I highly recommend this if you're looking for an adventure middle grade, if you're looking for a middle grade that's kind of in a different setting, and just that kind of flips the chosen one trope on its head. I think that the characters are very likable, and at first 12 is not like great friends with 5 and 6, and I feel like the trajectory of their friendship and how it develops is also very organic, and I absolutely love the pet squirrel. Like 10 on 10, would recommend. So all in all, I really feel like this book is worth the read, and I just hope that some of you guys actually pick this up because this is definitely like in my top 10 middle grade series I've read, for sure, without question. And so I hope that it inspires you guys to pick it up either at your library. The audiobook for this is absolutely fantastic, and yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. Let me know if you've made it this far by leaving something cold, some ice, a cold emoji, whatever you'd like, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye guys, happy reading.